Also, I want you to do it while we are like going through every step, because it's important for me that you actually start today if you're working for your own business or for your client's business. Because if you say, okay, I'm just gonna listen today and I'm gonna start doing it tomorrow or a week later, I know that the majority will not finish it. So like, or that will not even start it or forget too many important ideas to, or yeah, this workshop will allow you to start, and then you can make it perfect later, right? I don't know if you've seen recently, I shared, you just need to make something exist and then you can make it perfect later. So I'm going to share my screen. So the presentation is actually a lot of slides, so that's why we are doing it over 2 days. Hopefully we will not really need all the 4 hours today because, it will be quite late. But it's a lot of ground to cover. And what we are going to learn today is literally how Instagram works, how algorithm ticks, what content you need to produce, why, for whom, and how to be successful on Instagram, how to grow your following, and how to close deals. So you know me pretty well, so I don't think I have to do much of an introduction. But what I do want to tell you is that everything that I'm teaching is based on my own experience. So I have grown my dog's Instagram account from zero, and I literally had no content creation skills. It was a bit over 2 years ago when actually already 3 years ago. Yes, 3 years old. When he came to me as a puppy, a friend of mine said, "Oh, he's so cute. You should definitely make an Instagram account for him." And I was like, well, I know not a single thing about Instagram or content or how these things work. And but I started and I tried and it worked. And that basically laid the foundation for me working in marketing and in like this creative field. And I also have my own Instagram account. When I started 1 year ago, I made it a goal that I will grow by 1,000 followers within 3 months. And I actually achieved that goal. So every single day I was posting an immense amount of high value content. So like content that my audience thought that they can just like take it and do the same on their own. So it was so helpful for them that they were saving it, they were sharing it, and they were following me for more of such content. So this, what I'm going to teach you now really works. Um, you just need to follow specific steps, and then you will also be able to see results just like I did. And this works not only, wait a second, I think I'm showing you the wrong presentation. I'm going to stop sharing for a second because I think I'm in the wrong, sorry, I was in the wrong file. Because I have one presentation that is handouts, and I have one like something that I'm going to send to you, and I have one presentation that is actually for showing today. Sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah. So now I can share it again. Right. So Yes, and what I'm going to teach you today is not only based on what I've done for myself. I also have a few students who have really been successful based on the strategies that I made for them or with them. So, for example, Katka, the face yoga teacher, we started with her last year. We sat down and went step by step through my framework. And within 2 months, her following grew from 1,500 followers that she bought to over 4,000. It was really like three times more in just 2 months. And now, because content it compounds, she created a lot of valuable content. And on Instagram, it's not like you post now and this post works for one week and doesn't work anymore. No, actually, content on Instagram keeps bringing you results even a year after it was posted, slowly, but it still brings you followers. So now she hardly posts, so she posts like once a week, and she still keeps growing at least like 5 or 10 followers per week. And like I've made a screenshot, I think maybe like half a year ago, and she's now almost at 5,000, and she hardly posts. So content really compounds once you created a bunch of really good content. So it's not like that you have to become a full-time social media manager. You'll just do it once. You populate your account with really high value content, and it will keep you growing for longer. Like another student, Maria, most of you know her. She visited this same very workshop in January when I did it for the first time. And she was literally the only one, or like one of the two who actually started posting after the workshop. And the very first reel that she posted went viral. And then a week later, the second one went viral. And then sometime later, a third one went viral because she found for herself a format that really worked well in her niche, and she just stuck to it, and it keeps bringing her results. I had a few other clients who I worked for and whose accounts I optimized, but Maria and Katka were really the two most successful case studies. So Katka, she did not just grow her following because okay, being going viral and growing following is all nice and good, but doesn't have a business impact. So in May, for example, Katka was booked out just from Instagram, just from the content that she was posting. Then we introduced a few paid ads to this whole strategy, and she was booked out for the whole June, July, and a few appointments also in August already. So if you build your Instagram content strategy as part of your whole marketing strategy, it can really have a huge business impact for you. So it cannot be the only force that's driving your growth, business growth and revenue. It's not enough because every time when you're posting, you're dependent on algorithm. You cannot predict what algorithm wants. You cannot predict how it's going to behave. You can do a lot of research. You can try to optimize as much as possible, but in the end, the algorithm is unpredictable. So that is why we make our content strategy as part of all of our marketing activities, and it acts to build your brand and complement everything else that you're doing. So it would be great. Like, I know some of you don't know each other, so I would like you to comment in the chat who you are, what you're doing, and why do you want to grow your Instagram, or if you're a social media manager, write that you need it for your clients. And I also want to know what is your biggest frustration when it comes to growing an Instagram account, and what would be different if you would have 100,000 followers, and like, would you even want to have 100,000 followers? Joanna wrote that yes, you want to have 100,000 followers. Very nice. Alessia, could you also complement this with what is like the main frustration when it comes to content, posting on Instagram, growing your following? Because I know you started last year, you tried a few things, so I would like to know what is your like what was the thing that was not working out so well, or something that frustrated you? Yes. Yes, that's very common. Knowing what is right, and today we're gonna learn what is right because there are methods to know what is right. There are methods to start producing the content that works or has the viral potential. Um, what I see many people do, they just say, I am on Instagram because everyone is on Instagram. I have to be on Instagram because, like, yeah, because you have to. But no, these people often don't have a strategy, don't study what works, don't understand how things work. And then they get frustrated because, like, they don't see any results. And it hurts me so much because I know that if they had sat down for 4 hours one day and just went step by step through this framework, or there are so many different frameworks that also work, and they would just like do this research once, and it would just make everything so much better for them and so much smoother. 100 followers by end of 2025. Okay, Joanna, then I'll have to see you posting like 3 times per day after today's workshop. Very nice. Okay, but I'm happy to see that we have some ambitious goals. So I will try to help you as much as possible. And I also want to tell you that everything that we learned today and all the exercises that you do them and then take time after the workshop, like during the next week or this week and next week to complete it. And if you have any questions, ask me or write in our community chat in the Instagram engagement group, because there are also a lot of people who have been doing this and I'm there, so we could all like work together to come up with some good ideas and validate things, give feedback, and just support each other. Okay, so in this workshop, we are focusing on one thing only: how to grow an Instagram account with organic content, that means without advertising budget, and how to monetize your account. And I'm going to give you a very clear roadmap how you start and what you need to do and where you're heading, and like literally step by step. So if you follow this, you're more likely to get results than just winging it on your own. And how are we going to monetize it? So in order to monetize in our account, we have to sell something. So what I'm going to show you works perfectly for consulting. So if you're like a coach and selling consulting, or if you're selling a service, work done by us, for example, branding, website creation, marketing strategy, social media management, all of these service-based businesses. And these are the things that work very well with the strategy that I provide. If you are more of a product brand, there are different strategies that apply to you. Also, if you're a social media manager for a product brand or a corporate brand, like a bank, for example, there are also kind of different strategies that you need to be applying. So what we are talking about today is more consultancy, service-based businesses, expert-led accounts, thought leaders-led accounts, people who are personal brands and who are growing their following and basically selling themselves. The agenda for these 2 days, we are going through how to set the goals, how growth works on Instagram, how to optimize your profile, how to drive traffic, how to build a strategy, how to create good content, what are actually the steps of content creation. Then we're gonna talk about more specific growth tactics, so more smaller pieces of the strategy. And in the end, we're gonna talk about the launch plan, how you can launch your service or consultancy on Instagram. So it's important that you have your laptop charger. It's also important that you have somewhere to take notes. So either you're using a notepad or you're using PowerPoint, Google Slides, you're working directly in Excel or Notion. Have something to write things down, because we are not just going to be sitting here listening. Or you can also, I don't know, use Canva for presentation, because like I usually do all of my writing, or often do all of my writing and like strategies in Canva. And before we proceed with the concrete steps of the strategy, I just want to manage some expectations. You need to understand the following thing about algorithm on Instagram. Algorithm wants you to create content that keeps people on the platform, because how does Meta and actually other platforms as well, LinkedIn, TikTok, how do they earn money? They earn money by people watching ads and buying from companies. And so if people are long on the platform, that means they will see more advertising. That means the advertisers, the advertising companies will pay Meta more money, and this way Meta earns. So for creators and businesses who are producing a lot of content, you just need to understand that your content has to be so good that it keeps people on the platform, and for this algorithm will reward you. In order to keep people on the platform, in order to keep people interested in your content, you have to create a lot of value with your content, and it has to be for free. Basically, create content so valuable that people don't have to hire you. And it might sound contradictory because, hey, I want to get paid, I want to monetize my audience, but the only way for your content to have the viral potential is to be really so good that people think, oh, wow, I learned so much, I'm gonna save this, or wow, I learned so much, I want to follow this person to know what more cool tips they can share with me for free. And through this, you're gonna be the person who stays on top of the mind of those people, followers, scrollers, and when they actually are ready to pay money, they will come to you because you were the expert who was so generous to share amazing tips to already help solve some micro problems. And when they have an actually big problem, they will come to you. And also, don't think that a few 15-second videos will ever replace you and your expertise. Every one of you is an expert in a specific field. So no, just sharing a couple of short videos that are solving one tiny problem or giving some tiny idea that helps people will never ever replace you, the whole experience working with you or buying from you. Yeah, so I hear this very often. How can I share all of my secrets? People will not buy from me. Actually, they will, because they'll be like amazed by what you're sharing already for free. So when they pay you money, they will think that that must be like super amazingly valuable, and they will be ready for that. And also important to know that basically when you start creating a Instagram content strategy, you don't need to invent anything. Everything is already out there. You just need to research the right things and use these things for yourself. Margarita has been doing a training with me since a week already, and she has been doing two content strategies for my clients. And she knows firsthand how much research makes a difference, because like you just literally start with researching the viral content in your niche, what works for your target audience, and then you create content for your own brand based on what works already out there. Um, every time when you sit down and plan your content strategy, plan to grow your personal brand on Instagram, there are three success factors that will definitely help you with this whole thing. First is consistency, or you can consider it as a commitment. This is not a word that everyone is tired of this word, everyone heard this, but this is literally the key to your success. If everyone is giving up because they are not seeing results, and you actually persist and you stick it out until you see the results, this is where you will be rewarded. Think about it. How many accounts are created every day because people have big plans to become influencers. People have big plans to grow their online business and scale through selling digital products, services, and so on. And then after a week or a month, they quit because they didn't see any results. So those who actually stick around and do wait until they like keep pushing until they see results, those are the ones who win. And also, it's not only about like staying consistent for the algorithm, we are staying consistent and committed to our people, because when we build our following, these are real people on the other end of the screen. And these people very often become your fans. They like you, they support you, they cheer for you. So you have to be there for them because they come to you as a reliable source of information in this industry. So if you start and you make people fall in love with you and then all of a sudden you disappear and you ghost them, this will not be very healthy for your relationship, just as it wouldn't be very healthy for your relationship in real life. And I am saying this from experience because on my dog's account, there are people who are true fans. They comment on every single post. Every time I share some problems, they are there to support me and give me encouragement and like tell me that I'm doing so well. They are real people we never met in our entire life. I've never seen those people. I'm not even sure that those names that they have on Instagram are real names. But I know that they will be there every time I have a problem. And if I need an advice, I will ask them. So really take it as a responsibility to real people that are on the other side of the screen. Then the other thing that you need to remember is that you always have to be very, very clear in everything that you do, because clarity beats creativity and being clever, being original. Yeah, that if you are original but nobody understands what you're doing, forget about it. People already scrolled past you. So this applies to your Instagram account. And this applies to every piece of content. If your audience doesn't immediately understand what you offer, what value you deliver, and what your account is about, they will not be convinced to buy and they will scroll past your content. So really, every time before you post, ask yourself, is it clear what I'm trying to say? Will people understand? And if the answer is yes, then press that publish button. If not, try to simplify it. Keep it super simple, fourth grade level. Literally, there are even studies that show that if the content is written in very, very simple language of the fourth grade, people react much stronger to this than if the content and the texts were written in like super complicated scientific language. So really keep it simple and keep it very clear. And the last part is connection. Um, Even corporate businesses and especially personal brands have to show themselves as real people, because people buy from people, people trust people. So you need to make sure that you create this connection between yourself and your audience. They have to see you as not just this like robot expert who is just delivering educational content. They need to see you as a multifaceted person who has more interests, who has life outside of work, who is interesting. Yeah, one-dimensional person is not interesting. We will never like hang out with a one-dimensional person because it's just boring. So show yourself, and every one of us is amazingly interesting, has a lot of qualities and interests. 1 second, I'll close my window. So show this. Don't try to hide some personal life of yours. People are actually interested in what makes you human and not the information that they could easily get from ChatGPT. So why they would be coming to you as an expert to learn from you or to buy from you as a business is because of your personality. So you have to show it and not just share all of this valuable content and hide behind the knowledge. Really show your personality and create the connection. Now we are going further, and we start with the first step of the strategy. So basically now in your notebook, you can write strategy, content strategy, step 1, setting a goal. So everything that you do in your marketing has to start with a goal, because only if you have a goal that is like your guiding star, you can build a plan how to achieve that goal. Basically, you would be reverse engineering the roadmap of how to get to that goal. So it's absolutely essential that you start with the goal. So Joanna's goal is 100,000 followers by the end of 2025. So she has that goal, so she will be able to build a path to reach that goal. In order to settle the goal, I would actually want you to ask first the following question. Why do you want to post on the social media platform? And is your audience really there? I don't want you to start building now a strategy and planning all these things if your audience is not there, right? Maybe your audience is on LinkedIn. So just really think about it. And if you say, no, Instagram is right for me because my audience is there as well, or it is a combination of LinkedIn and Instagram, or in the future, combination of LinkedIn, Instagram, and podcast, that's also fine. But I just want you to make sure that you are doing it for the right platform and that your audience is really there. So as soon as you determine that, now you can ask yourself, what is your goal? Usually, in the beginning of your business journey, your goal will be growth. And this is like this for everyone, because before you have reach, before you have eyes on your business, you can't really sell. There is nobody to nurture. So you need to focus the first year of your business and the first year of your Instagram strategy on getting as much traffic to your account and getting as many followers. But once you reached your growth goal, like your reach goal, then you can think about, okay, now I want to try to monetize those people, so you can switch to nurturing those people and eventually to selling to those people. If you are an advanced user or if you have a team, you can do all of those things at once, right? You can produce daily growth content that drives a lot of traffic, and then you can produce content that nurtures that traffic, and then you produce good content that sells to the traffic. But usually as single person businesses, we don't have the capacity, the time to do it all at once. So I recommend you to really break it down into phases and say, okay, my phase number one, to grow to 500 followers, then I nurture, then I convert them, and then I set the second goal, I grow to 1,000 followers, I nurture, and I convert. And I really suggest you to go in phases like this until you can hire somebody and outsource. And typically we have three goals. We have goal to grow, we have goal to nurture, and we have goal to sell. So growth is increasing your following, increasing your reach. Nurture is building trust. So making sure that your followers are not only interested in your free tips and your free content, but that they also trust you as an expert and potentially consider buying from you. And in the end, sales is when people know you, people trust you, and they're ready to buy from you. So you covered the know, like, trust factor that leads to sales. And we're gonna go through every single of these goals and look what content types belong to each goal, so you can also produce the content fitting to your goal. So this big diagram basically shows how it would look like for a new account. So we would start with the discovery phase where we know nothing right now. So right now, if you haven't posted anything and you're like really just trying to figure out how things work, this is the discovery phase. You test a lot of content, you try to understand what your audience wants, you find your style, you find your signature format, and then you get fast at content creation. And here, I guess you can see, depending on the phase that you're in, you choose, like, you have to stick to this frequency posting times and specific content formats in order to succeed in this phase. So in the discovery phase, even though you're not growing, not trying to grow yet, you try to just learn, I still advise you to post 5 to 7 times a week. And I advise you not to batch content, and we will come to batching content tomorrow. I advise you to create one piece of content every single day with your own hands, because only if you do it daily, you really become good at it and you really get fast. So when you are fast, then you can batch, then you can sit down in one day, film 30 videos, edit them in like 2 hours, schedule to post, and there you go. Whole month worth of content done in just one day. It's possible, but you have to be ultra fast for this, and you're not going to be in the beginning. In the beginning, just like Alessa wrote, one reel will take you 1 hour, sometimes longer. And in order to get better at this, you have to do it every day. Remember, like at school, we were learning to write, we were doing it every day. When we were learning to count, we were doing it every day. So it's the same. It's a skill that you can improve, but you have to do every day. And I improved just because I was doing it literally every day. My discovery phase with my dog lasted for over a year because I had no plan, I had no strategy. I was just like learning, testing things, trying to understand how things work. And that's okay. I wasn't trying to earn money with my dog's account. But once I realized that, hey, okay, I have now a very good collaboration with the brand, I get high commission if I sell something. So what happens if I just create a strategy and start posting regular according to the strategy? I made like 300 euros in 1 month just selling somebody else's stuff, posting on an automatically scheduled post that I prepared in advance, spending hardly any time on the platform daily because it was just doing everything on its own, and it was amazing. I had 20 million views that month when I decided to post according to a strategy. 20 million views in just 1 month. Then once you understood how things work, once you understood what your audience wants, once you got better at content creation, you can enter the growth phase. The growth phase is where you post growth content, so successful content, or you recycle successful content from discovery phase. You increase your reach, you grow your following, you grow awareness, and you also generate your first leads and sales. But the purpose is really to increase your following. And for this, you have to post every single day in feed, because it's just the number of, like, it's a matter of numbers, it's mathematics. If you post every day, and let's say 1 out of 100 posts goes viral on average, so you will need 100 days to go viral. If you post once a week, you will need 100 weeks to go viral. So you will definitely quit before you see any results. So yes, you have to post daily, and people who say you don't have to post daily, they are liars, because you have to. I can tell you the biggest, like the gurus of Instagram marketing, they will tell you to post daily, and they have been posting daily in order to grow. So don't listen to people who say you don't have to do it. You have to do it. It's really the matter of numbers, and only through a lot of content you will identify what works. You will be able to double down on what works. You will be able to recycle what works. And I'll show you growth tactics where you can grow your account without posting and like without creating new content. That's possible, but you have to come to the point where you have created content that has been successful. But what you don't really need to do, you don't really need to post many stories. You can just like post 3 to 4 times a week in stories, a little bit, mentioning a little bit of your like about your life, about what you are selling, about your offer. But otherwise, you literally just focus on growth. And then the next phase that I see is would be the delivery phase or a nurture phase, however you want to call it. So this is where you can step back from daily posting and you can focus on the followers that you already have. You can nurture those followers, you can build community, you can make it super, super strong. And for this, you can reduce to posting 3 to 4 times a week in the feed, but you have to increase the frequency of posting in the stories, because your feed posts, they work for non-followers, of course for your followers as well, but this is the only way to bring the non-followers, and your stories are only viewed by your followers. So it's useless to post stories if you don't have a following yet. But once you do have a following, you can post more in the stories, and this is where you can really nurture and sell. And the next phase would be scale and outsource. So let's say you were very successful at the growth stage, you were very successful at delivery stage, you sold your offer, you closed deals, and now you have a very good system of getting deals through Instagram. So you can hire more people, you can outsource. So now things that you were doing, like first growth, then nurture, then sell, you can combine them. You can teach your system, your content strategy to a person whom you hire who will just be creating growth content for you, and you will focus on posting daily in the stories, nurturing your audience and selling to your audience. But that only is possible once you have a stable recurring stream of revenue. Until that time, you can alternate the growth and the nurture phases to reach that phase that you can actually outsource. Do you have any questions to the goals and the phases of growing an Instagram account?
Yes, one question about the growth and discovery. When we post daily, do you think we should post in as a story or post like a daily, like just the normal?
No, in the beginning, when you don't have any followers, stories are useless because stories are only seen by your followers.
Okay.
So that's like you can take a selfie and write what you're thinking in that moment, and that's already enough. But this would be wasted effort. You really need to focus on getting non-followers to see your account, and that's only possible through the feed posts.
Okay. And do you suggest a feed post as a graphic pictures or as a videos?
Videos. We will come to the specific formats. Actually, here even below, I have a few words. So Reels, even now in 2025, have highest average reach, higher than carousels. All the carousels are being pushed more and more. And last year, Instagram said that yes, do carousels because they're trying to push them. But here's the reason why carousels will not work as well as Reels, even if Instagram is saying that they are pushing it. So Instagram's carousels can be they are also shown in the Explorer page when you're like scrolling through the reels, right? So carousels are shown with the reels, but the thing is that on the left here on the menu of Instagram, we only have the Reels tab. We don't have the Carousels tab. And so when we press here, we mainly see Reels. So in order to be discoverable through this tab, we need to post Reels, because it's just like Instagram has way more ways for people to come to the Reels. And if we go to the Explorer page, yes, we will find some carousels. We will find different formats, maybe even just some single images. But even here, if I'm looking, I'm seeing this sign most of the time. So Reels are really the either the most used or the most successful format. But honestly, Reels is also the format that helps you build the strongest connection with your audience. Because when you are posting text, it's all nice and good, but people do not see you, they do not hear you, they don't feel like they don't get your vibe, and it's easiest to do this through a video.
Okay, so and then if I have no idea of the format, etc., all this, I don't know how to edit, and I will just start with messy, and then just whatever, just record something, and then post first, and then maybe get better a bit later.
Exactly. You will start with testing content and like getting fast at content creation and finding your style. Definitely. This is exactly what's going to happen. But once you figure out how it works, you'll be able to like just like go down on the growth and like really be successful. That what I do want to tell you, after all, like you can grow with carousel. So there are a few accounts that grew just with carousel. So Pretty Little Marketer is a girl from England. She posts mainly only carousels. They look like this. And sometimes she posts like some videos or photos from the events that she was invited to, but she grew through carousel, so it's possible.
Is
Another
it
account that I know, these two copywriters, obviously copywriters can write really well. They only do exclusively carousels and they grew to over 100,000. So you can still grow with other formats. It just might take you a bit longer. But you need to find that signature format, that like really supports your brand.
the reason they grow so well? Is it because they get into the right timeline at that time? Instagram was still supporting carousels, yet at the moment they support more reels. So if we take those two examples to 2025, probably their growth will be much slower. No, do you think so?
Actually, last year, so end of last year, Instagram said that they are pushing carousels as well, and they started to add carousels in the reels. So when you scroll through the reels, you also see carousels sometimes. But the statistics still shows that reels have highest average engagement and reach. Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Okay, so for everyone who is actually working on their strategy, I want to give you 2 minutes now to write down what is your goal for Instagram this year and write it in a smart way. So use a smart goal. It has to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. Time bound, in any case, I want you to write it till end of 2025 and make it more or less specific, like 100 or 1,000 followers. Um, we just need to make sure that you know what you're working towards to. And once you've written the goal for 2025, I want you to also dig a little bit, like make it a bit more narrow and think about what you're gonna do in the next 2 months, like really, because the next 2 months will determine the outcome for the whole year. So think about also what are you ready to do in the next 2 months to achieve your goal for this year. Okay, so let's move on to the next step. The next step is understanding how growth actually works on Instagram. So Instagram growth basically boils down to two things. We have traffic and we have conversion. And these two put together means growth of following. And when I talk about growth, I don't talk about revenue. For today, I talk about growing your following. So traffic is how many people come to your profile through your content, for example, and conversions is how many people, how many of these people actually follow you. And if you have one of these problems, like for example, people aren't visiting your profile, then you have a traffic problem, or if people are visiting but not following, you have a conversion problem, we can fix it. Like both of these problems are fixable and we're gonna do it today and tomorrow. Um, Important to know is that I'm not talking about advertising. You can drive traffic through ads, and I'm only gonna be talking about driving traffic through organic growth, like organic content, and I'll mention a few other ways how you can drive traffic to your account, but you will not need any advertising budget for this. So, what metrics do you need to measure in order to grow your Instagram account? There are so many metrics to look at, and it can be very overwhelming, and most of the time, people don't know what to pay attention to. Two metrics that really matter is profile visits. That's the number of people checking like looking at your profile, and follower conversion rate, percentage of those visitors who turn to followers. How can you calculate this follower conversion rate? CVR. So we take the net followers per month, we take the profile visits per month, and we divide them, and then we multiply by 100 and we get the follower conversion rate. So an example, you get 10,000 profile visits in the last 30 days. Thousand of these people actually became followers. So this way you can calculate your follower conversion rate, which will be 10%. And this CVR, your follower conversion rate, tells you if your account, if your profile is doing a job and converting people or not. How do you know how do you get the profile visits? How do you know how many people followed you? So if you take your phone and go ahead and take your phone, and if you are on a creator mode, then in your account you will have a professional dashboard. Does everyone have a professional dashboard in their account? Yeah. So you click on the professional dashboard and you will see three things on top. You will see net followers, and when you press there, you can see how many people overall followed you, like by how many followers your account grew in the last 30 days. You will also see how many followers you had in total and how many unfollows you had. So take the number of the total followers and write it down. Then go out of the net follower tab, and on top there will be content you shared. And when you press there and you scroll down, there will be profile activity, and there you will see profile visits. And this is the number that you need to take in order to be able to calculate the follower conversion rate. Did you manage to find it?
So I don't have a brand actually, so I have just a private account. It's only visible if you have a business account, correct?
Yes, or creator account.
Okay, I see. Okay.
Mhm. On the desktop, by the way, you don't have the professional dashboard. It's only available on a phone version of the app. But what you can also do, and what I advise you to do for your clients, if you're a social media manager, and for yourself, is using Meta Business Suite. So this is my Meta Business Suite, and basically this is where my Instagram account and my Facebook account are connected. So everything that I'm doing, like everything that I'm posting, all the comments that I'm getting, all the messages that I'm getting are all here. And it's amazing because I don't have to switch between two apps. And very often our audience is not only on Instagram, it's also on Facebook. And usually when you're posting on Instagram, you want it to be automatically reposting to Facebook. But you don't want to be ignoring people who are commenting on your Facebook posts. So do make it a habit of using Meta Business Suite. It's amazing because you can also use Meta Business Suite Planner and you can schedule posts for future posting. You can also do it directly through Instagram, like I do it directly through Instagram, but you can also do it there because I think everything that you do on your laptop is gonna save you time and just much faster. But I still am old-fashioned, so I'm doing it on my phone. But what you can really, what is very valuable here is the Insights tab. When you go to the Insights tab, here you can switch between Facebook and Instagram, and you can see the performance of your Instagram. And so you can really track everything that's going on. For example, you can go to the benchmarking tab and see how does your business compares to other pages in your industry, and then if you like how well are you performing compared to them. So I am a bit lower on all the parameters than a typical account in my industry. What you can also do, if you have a list of specific competitors, you can press here add a business, and I don't know, type the business key here. This guy is an Instagram guru, so you could like add him to the list and then see how he grows per month in comparison to you, and whether you need to like do a bit more to keep up. And what you can also do is see how your content is performing and like have a more general overview, not just going through every post, but have an overview of everything over here. Here you will have, just like in your professional dashboard on your mobile, you'd have like top content and top formats. And when you go here in the content, this is a very important thing because you get a table of all of your posts, and here you can start analyzing. So, for example, here you can sort your content based on reach and then identify which posts brought you the most traffic and just try making the more of posts like this. Or another important metric for virality, so is shares. The more people share or the more people save, the higher the chances that your post will go viral. Really, I've had lots of likes and comments, but then sometimes on my dog's account, but sometimes it didn't really lead to this like boom explosion. But as soon as people start sharing, that's when algorithm gets the signal that hey, this content is so good, people are sharing it, I need to push it to more people. So shares is good and saves is also good. So sorting your content based on the saves will show you what people value the most, and you just need to start reproducing this content more and more and more, and literally repeating or reposting the same, and then you will see growth much faster. So make it a habit looking at these insights and understanding the metrics that you see here, understanding what of your content works the best. The only thing here in the Meta business suite that you don't see when you go through the columns, and I don't understand why it's so stupid, you don't see follows, and follows are the most important metrics that you want to see because you need to produce more content that brought you the most followers. But when you here you can create a report and you can select the date range of your content that you want to analyze, and when you export this report, then it will give you a huge Excel sheet, and there will be included the number of followers per each post. And then you should also sort the table in the order of most follows and just produce exclusively the content that most brought you the most follows, and this way you will start seeing growth. So the follower conversion rate that we discussed was per profile, for example, for the next 30 days, for the last 30 days. What is the benchmark for a CVR? So you know whether you're on the right track or you need some optimization. So this marketing hurry guy that I mentioned, he set up this CVR benchmark to be as follows. If you have a CVR between 10 and 15%, then your account is not optimized and it's not converting the traffic that it receives. If your CVR is between 15 and 25%, it's good. Keep going. If it's between 25 and 35%, that's like really, really great. So aiming at 15% and higher, this is like what your goal should be in terms of follower conversion rate. Do you have questions to these metrics?
I just
Sorry, go ahead.
I just didn't know, wanted to make sure about the followers. So you get the followers only if you export the file automatically.
You can see the number of followers. For example, if I switch to my dog's account because he is growing faster than my personal, you will see the number of followers per post, but then you have to go through every single post and like write it down on your own. So for example, he basically every single here, when I press on this post and I press view insights, then I will see profile activity, follows. Here I see how many follows were from this one post. But you don't want to be going post by post. It's so time consuming. And Meta Business Suite inside the platform doesn't show you how many follows each post brought. So you need to export the whole table, and it will give you a table with so many columns, and only then you will be able to see the number of followers per post in a table, and you'll be able to sort.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
So if you have established which post gives you the most followers, then you say you just try and produce content the same way. But like, how do you then know what it actually was that caught people's attention? Like, I mean, obviously you're not going to post every time the exact same content. Like, you want to give variety, you want to give different information. So how do you, I know I've seen you post the same thing multiple times when it was really good,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I'm just trying to understand how you realize, okay, what works and what doesn't work, and then you want to reproduce similar things but not exactly the same thing.
Yeah. If I see a post that's, especially if it's a reel and it's bringing me a lot of followers, I will just literally repost it as it is. On Instagram, what you can also do, Can I don't see it here because it's a desktop version, but you can post trial reels. And trial reels can also go viral, and trial reels can also bring you a lot of new followers. So you literally, instead of spamming your existing followers with the same content, you can post it in trial reels and just generate followers all the time without producing any new content. Or you just make tweaks, small tiny changes to the hook, small tiny changes to like how you structure the main body of the reel, and yeah, you reuse it. And what I know many people are concerned about is posting the same. But the thing is that ask yourself, do you remember my posts from 1 week ago? And I'm pretty sure you probably like pay attention to what I post. Nobody remembers. And even if they see the same post again, actually Instagram does show the same content again in the feed if people did not react to it the first time. For example, with carousels, again, I'm in Reels right now. Carousels, they are so amazing at bringing high engagement, because if people saw this in the feed but did not react, what Instagram is going to do, it will show exactly the same carousels but starting from the second page, giving people again a chance to engage. So it's not only up to us sometimes how often the people see the same post, and people really do not remember what you posted last week. So don't be afraid to reuse it or make tiny tweaks and post it again. And also remember that your followers don't remember what you posted 1 week ago, but people who just started following you have never even seen what you posted 1 week ago. So repeating your content, repeating your message is extremely important, because the new people who are just coming to your account don't even know this. They didn't even see those super valuable posts. So create enough content to be posting consistently for 3 to 6 months, and then just recycle, change the format. Do take the same information from that like worked well in a reel and put it into a carousel. So because this is the idea is, okay, if this was not the text that brought the people, but like the visuals, then take the same visuals but switch up the text. But like don't be afraid to recycle and reuse the content.
So it doesn't matter then, because obviously you don't, if someone goes onto your feed, like you don't want to have the exact same information like over and over and over again, like right next to each other. So you do have to produce some content that you just see how it goes, and then later on you repeat something where you felt like it went really well. So like to give a
Yes.
little bit of variety.
And I wouldn't even wait too long. I would wait, I don't know, 1 week or 1.5 weeks. If I see a reel going viral, I would post it again. And the thing is that, like, when people come to your account, on your post feed, so this is your post feed, they see combination of carousels, images, and reels. But then you have a reel feed. Here are only the videos. And what you can do, you can put content from your post feed into your reel feed. So people actually don't even see when they land on your account that you posted the same stuff, because it's in the reel feed and not in your post feed. Exactly, this we already covered. You can calculate CVR of each post, but for post, it's a bit trickier. So for your account that we saw, the CVR benchmark is like 15 and higher is good. For post, the average CVR will be 1 to 2%. So don't be scared if you see such low numbers. That's very normal. We can take an example of this post that I just showed you and calculate this. We have 1,250,000 views 1 million accounts, yeah, so that means like individual people, and 3,600 follows. If somebody, I don't have a laptop right now, but a phone right now, but let me, so 300, what's the formula? Forgot the formula already. Net follows divided by profile visit times 100. So we have 30649 divided by 1 million and times 100. So the follower conversion rate of this post is less than 1%, 0.3%. So per post, it's common that it will be very low, but your account in total should be doing a pretty good job, and you should aim for 15%. So now, before we go to profile optimization, let's take 5 minutes break to go to the toilet, get something to drink, and then we dive into how can we optimize your account so people actually follow it, and so your follower conversion rate is higher. Okay, so 5 minutes break so we can meet at 18:25. Okay, welcome. Can you hear me? Yeah. Welcome back. Um, Now we cover the basics of how the growth works and what we need. The two main things to be growing, we need traffic and we need the traffic to be converting into followers. So the first step to achieve this is to make sure your account is optimized for random scrollers or just like casual idle browsers to get interested in who you are, what you do, and clicking that follow button. This is basically the two steps in your social media strategy is profile optimization and then planning your content. So let's look into the profile. Appearances matter. People, I'm sorry, but no matter what we tell our children, no matter what we want to think, appearances matter. I hear it so often that you can't imagine. Literally, just a person, just recently, I was talking to this person and he said, I will judge how good a person is, like how good a person is at what they do, based on how their website looks, or based on of how their social media looks. Because if your appearance on social media or website is professional, is high class, people will think that you are, as an expert, as a professional, also are high class. So if your account looks like the car on the right, it will not be helping you grow your following and convert that following into buyers. So we need to make sure that you look your best and that you look professional so people trust that you are an expert and so that they trust to pay your money. There are a few things. So two things that you need to consider when you're optimizing your profile. You want to make a strong first impression, and you have just one chance to make a first impression, so you need to make it count, and you need to make sure that your account is optimized to convert visitors into followers. So let's have a look at how to do this. First and foremost, remember clarity. Clarity is your friend in everything that you do. You need to clearly communicate what you do and for whom. So people who come to your website, if they realize that, like if they read clearly that this account works and delivers content for them, then they will stay. Also, your Instagram account has to show social proof. meaning that people trust you. The higher the number of followers, the more likely you will get more followers, because the high number of followers indicate that people trust you, that they stick with you, that's why they follow you. If you are still small and you're just starting out and you don't have a high number of followers, there are other ways how you can show that social proof, through strategic bio, through strategic highlights and strategic pin posts. Yeah. And a good Instagram account also has to move people down the sales funnel. So the idle browsers came to your account, they got interested because everything is clear and convincing, they followed, and then they also need to know what's the next step, how they could buy from you. And it also has to be catchy. So of course we cannot do it like everyone else. We have to make sure that our account stands out from the sea of endless competitors, and that it's like unique and catchy enough that people get interested in who we are. So before we move to optimizing specifically your account, it's always good to answer these questions. What is this account about? What's the main theme of your account? What's the main message of this account, main idea? Who should be following your account? People often don't even know who their potential followers should be, so they're posting content just for the sake of posting and they're not addressing anyone specifically. Why should they be following you? What useful, beneficial will be in this account for them? Like, what's in it for them? Who are your role models? Where are you aiming? Do you have somebody who you look up to, from whom you can learn? How will you earn? And what is your ideal account growth and state? Just doing it with the idea like, it would be nice to have like a million followers. You don't need a million followers. You're not an influencer. You are a business most of the time, so you just need a small number of like correct followers. So take 5 minutes and think about this question. Just like mark down the answers and finish this in the evening or during this week, okay? Take now 5 minutes and think about these questions.
Could we share in the chat and have your opinion about it?
You don't have to share in the chat if you don't want to, but you can, of course. Okay, you can finish answering these questions sometime this week, but don't skip this. Please don't skip this. This will define the purpose and the whole idea of your account. If you cannot answer these questions, how should people understand what your account is about? You need to, everything you do has to be with a purpose, and you have to be clear on all of these things. When I ask you in a week, what's the main idea, main message that you're trying to communicate with your account, you need to be able to say that, and I have to be able to see this in your account. Only this way, others will also be able to do this. I've seen businesses who spend money on advertising. They have marketers, managers, and you just then come to their account and you just don't understand what it is that they're selling. At my last workshop in January, one business, I think tomorrow I will show you how we optimize their account, because when they signed up and I came to their Instagram account and I was like, I have no idea what they're selling. Why would I ever buy if I don't know what I would be paying for? And then we optimized it and it looks so much better now. And now at least I know what I would be paying money if I wanted to become their customer. So this is really important, and you need to really know who should be following your account, and you need to understand what's in it for them. Like, why should they care? Because if you don't know that, you won't be able to give it to them. And of course, identify your role models, somebody who you strive to be, because this will help you, guide you. And you need to make sure that you know what your sales process looked like, how you're gonna sell, how you're gonna earn, so you are able to build it. And before we go further, I just want to say a few words really about the appearances from my experience. While you were writing the answers, I remembered something. When I look at my content on Instagram and LinkedIn, the posts where I share a very professional, fancy picture where I'm like with the in a suit or look very nice, this is what people react to the most. This is where people engage the most. And when I'm just posting something casual, people don't engage so much. The reason is because on social media, people want to see like people want to see people where they want to be. They want to see you as the face where they want to achieve, like where they want to come. So you shouldn't try to be like the rest, because you want to be a step ahead of them so that they have something to strive to. And that's why appearances are important, because people follow people where they want to be and not where they are now. So we need to show them that we are there, even if we are not necessarily there at the moment, but we have to look like this, because only in that case people will follow us, because they will want to learn how we got there, because they are heading that way. Ola, you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, because this is those questions that you have here, or what we are having here. It's not it's not necessarily something that has to be also in the header of the account, right?
No.
It's just for you for the understanding, or for me for the understanding. If
Yeah.
I have an account, what is important? It's nothing that I'm claiming in on Instagram
No.
specifically. Okay.
Yeah, this is basically your concept for your account. This is like your foundation, and based on this, you select the information that you then put on your account. And this is just like very the superficial part, only relating to the Instagram account. As a business and a brand, actually, what you should do as a step before that is answer these questions. We're not gonna go through them right now, but you're gonna get these slides. And really, as a business, if you don't have a brand strategy just yet, answer these things, because this defines the storytelling of your whole brand. And this defines what you write in your website, this defines what you write in your emails, and the whole communication has to be consistent, it has to be coherent. So Instagram account is just like part of your communication, just one channel. Make sure that your brand story is clear and strong, because only with a good brand and good storytelling will people really feel like they identify with you. By the way, because you are at this workshop, you're gonna get from me my book, and the book comes together with 4 free resources, and one of them is basically like a marketing strategy and a brand strategy that includes these questions and a bunch of other questions that helps you understand who you are as a brand and a business. So now that you have the concept for your account, let's have a look at what account types are there. We have 5 main account types. We have a curation page. Curation page is an account that basically takes best content from other accounts and reposts it on their own page. Actually, Instagram is trying to punish, so to say, curation pages, because curation pages just take others' content and grow through this. And what they also do is they charge money from creators, so that they feature their content on their account. So usually small creators will benefit from a curation page like this, because you can pay some small money, usually it's like 20 euros, and they will repost your post and then will tag you there and say, hey, follow this creator. But generally, Instagram does not like them, and Instagram now marks whose content is this originally and tries to push the original content and suppress the content from the curation pages. Then there are entertainment pages. Entertainment like comedy pages, or you also have like City of Vienna page that provides general information, some sort of entertainment, basically yeah, some or ref, so like newsletters that are also now on Instagram, and a digital form would also be an entertainment page. So curation pages, they earn money through creators paying them to repost their account or through advertising. Entertainment pages are really tough for earning money, because usually you have like a City of Vienna, you have very specific guidelines that you can post, you cannot advertise, so you're just there because you have to be there. And then we have a business page. Business page is for bigger brands that are already established, something that I would call a corporate brand. That also has very specific guidelines to what they are allowed to post. They have already determined their brand. They are very strict in terms of the rules and how they want to appear outside. And of course, these businesses are selling their own products or services. And generally, we want to aim to become a corporate brand and a business on Instagram, because this means that you really scaled and your business is transferable, that it doesn't depend just on you as a person, but you can hire people and you can expand. But when you are not yet here, you're gonna start with either a personal account or with an expert account. So a personal account is something an influencer could have, or you as a content creator and you're just posting about your passion, or you as a person. So if you don't want to grow your following, you can have a personal account just for yourself. And you completely decide what you can post about. Usually it's your passion, something that you love. And you can have an expert account. An expert account is usually for you as an entrepreneur and your business. As a coach, consultant, you will have an expert account. And the difference here between these two is that your personal will be more about your life, your personal things behind the scenes, like everything that's going on in your life, family and friends. An expert is where people will get more of this educational content, more of the how-tos and tips and stuff like this, because you as an expert in a specific field will be sharing this information. So for personal brands, I recommend mixing these two. And we already talked about it. You are not just a robot ChatGPT who is just spitting out educational content. You are a multidimensional person, and people are interested in other aspects of your life, and they will most likely connect with you because of other aspects in your life. So don't make it dry and boring by just providing educational content. Combine these two, and you will have a formula in creating a good personal brand on Instagram. But I know many people have a problem when they're not experts just yet, when they're starting out. How can they position them so that people still trust them as an authority in their industry and as somebody they would pay money to? So you don't have to position yourself as an expert when you're just starting out. In fact, there are 5 prisms that you can choose, like how you take your personal side, and then you take one of these 5 prisms, and this is how you position yourself. And what are these 5 prisms? So expert, yes, if you have a track record, if you have already great results, you achieved a lot, maybe written a book, maybe have a podcast, maybe people know you. No question asked, you're an expert, and most likely you wouldn't have a problem calling yourself an expert. But if you're just starting out, you don't have the track record, maybe you're rather a leader. A leader is somebody who is a step ahead of their audience, who are experimenting, who are trying a lot of things, and they're learning very actively, they're pushing, and they appear as a source of motivation and inspiration for their audience, and they teach their audience everything that they have learned through doing. So a leader is somebody who literally leads the audience. They don't say, I know everything. They say, I'm doing a lot, I'm trying it out, and I am telling you what worked for me, and then you can try it as well. So, for example, for me, when I started, and still now, I try to position myself as a leader. I in no way claim to be an expert in anything that I do, but I do a lot, and I know that I do often more than others. And so I try to teach them what I have learned through this process of doing. Then another prism that you can choose is a peer. A peer is basically somebody who is on the same level with their audience, and they're learning together with their audience. And they report on the sources that they learned from, and they say, okay, here's what I learned, this is where I learned it from, here is the information. So you're still sharing that valuable information, right? Just like an expert account would do, but you are just doing it through a different prism, through something like what you've learned from those experts. And that's okay. It still gives you credibility as somebody who is actively involved in their account and in sharing information with others. Then you can be an investigator. If you are somebody who is actively asking questions, who is skeptical by nature and doesn't take anything for granted, you can be an investigator. So you will take all the information from the other experts, leaders, and peers out there, and you would question whether it's really true and express your opinion about that. And a curator, on the other hand, is somebody who collects all the information, also reports on the sources, but is not yet ready to express their opinion. So, for example, if you're just considering of starting your personal brand on Instagram, but you're not ready to put yourself out there just yet, what you can do, you can become a creator. So you post what you learn from others, you share the sources, but you don't express your opinion just yet. But what you already achieve is that you associate, you let people associate you with this field. So once you come out and you launch yourself, people will already know that you are active in this field, and they will already have this perception that, okay, this person equals information in this field. And once you start selling, once you start expressing your opinion, showing your achievements, they will be able to take the next step in buying from you. So I advise you now, when you're planning your account, if you're not a business, if you're a corporate business, and if you're a social media manager working for a corporate business, you will have very often guidelines and rules that you have to follow. Often you will not have so much creative freedom. But if you are a personal brand, you can decide for yourself, and I recommend you a combination of your personal content with your expert content, or shown through any of these prisms. Do you have questions to the selection of the account type?
Could you start off as a combination of multiple prismas, for example? Like, I don't know, I feel like to some degree I could see myself as a peer, but obviously I'm aspiring to become then a leader, but there's certain things that I feel like would blend in together a little bit.
Yeah, I do this as well, and I do post often what I learned from others, and I actually like cite the sources, and I say where I learned it from. I just recently had a post where I quoted Gary Vee. He's a like motivational speaker and book author. So yes, definitely, that's totally fine. It's very good. Okay, so let's move forward. So how do you actually optimize your account? There are studies that show how people tend to follow a certain pattern when they scan account for the first time, when they just came to an account for the first time and they decide if they want to follow this. What do they look at first, and what do you need to optimize to increase your chances that people actually follow you? So the first one is your profile picture, because this is where your face is, and people will decide whether you are attractive enough or somebody who they could see, like somebody whom they could follow. Often people follow similar people, like we will follow people who are similar to us or where we aspire to be. So people will judge us based on how we look. Then they also will read the handle and the headline, because the headline will usually say in just very few words who we are. And then they will also pay attention to the number of followers, because number of followers gives this social proof that others trust us and that you should follow this account. I still am not entirely sure. I'm kind of a bit battling inside whether it's a good idea or not. Handle is this one on top, the name. So this is your unique Instagram identifier, basically. So what was I saying? I'm debating inside whether to say this or not, but frankly speaking, because people really judge based on how many followers you have, if you want to speed up this trust factor for the new followers, you might even want to consider buying followers. And I didn't say that right now, but really, I think it would make a difference. I think it's a decision that everyone has to make for themselves, because obviously, if you buy followers, it's just a number over here, and it's not, the engagement will show whether these followers are real. But if you think about people who are not thinking about Instagram so much, those who do not care, those who are just like scrolling, they will not come to an account and calculate the engagement rate on their posts. The only thing that they will do, they will just look here and then they will decide whether they follow or not. They will not open those posts and calculate the number of likes and comments. So I really am not sure. I think it would make a difference for some. For example, Katka, when she came to me, she had 1,500 followers, and I was like, "Well, it seems like you're growing because you just started. You already have so many." And she was like, "Well, I bought them." But then I don't know, would our strategy have worked if she had only like 200 when we started? Would people trust to follow her with just 200 followers, or did 1,500 gave her some leverage so people decided to follow her? I don't know, but people do look at this number, and it's important. What people also look at are your pinned posts over here. Basically, your last 12 posts, they will just like scroll and review the last 12 posts, but the top ones are the most important ones, because here is a chance that they will actually press on those ones. So everything that you put here has to be highly strategic and has to tell a story and have a customer journey, like accompany your visitors along the customer journey to make sure that they take the next step in that journey. So let's talk about every one of these elements. So first is a profile picture. Of course, it has to be professional. It has to be high quality. It has to be clear and easy to see, even at a small size. Because if you think, what are all these placements where your profile picture is visible? And your profile picture is visible everywhere except when somebody tags you in a post. When somebody tags you in a post, you only see the handle, right? The handle is this content fudge in my case. Yeah, and the profile picture is visible everywhere, and it can also be this small. So it has to be a headshot. It has to be a high quality headshot that looks professional. It also should be branded. So branding is something that like creates a mark in people's brain that this person, this color, and every time they see this color, they will remember you. So you need to brand everything that you do, all the content, everything. And this includes also your profile picture. So if you have a brand color, brand it. And make sure that your profile picture is consistent across all your platforms. So your Gmail account, like your where you send emails, also has to have that profile picture. Your LinkedIn account has to have that profile picture. Everything, like it has to be consistent everywhere. And unless you are a corporate brand, do not use a logo. I know you will have a logo. I know because you will have websites and you will have a logo. But only established brands and businesses should use a logo and not a face because it's over for them anyway. They are fighting a different fight. They are fighting a corporate fight, and it's a different story. For you as a person, as a personal brand, you need to use a headshot and not a logo. So now you can have a look at your profile picture and mark it in your notes if you think it could be improved. For example, I know Joanna has a very nice professional photo, but I think it's not branded. So that could be a definite improvement. So the next element is your handle. Your handle will usually be your personal name or your brand name. Even if you're a personal brand, you will sometimes still start with a brand name because you want to reserve it, even right now. Because eventually the point of every personal brand is that we want to transfer our business to like to something bigger than just us. We don't want our business to only depend on us all the time. We want to make sure that it's transferable so that we can become like we can step away from actually doing things, but hire trained people, specialists who are doing it. We can hire more people, have more clients, scale revenue, and then, for example, just become CEOs or just the owners, and you have the business running. So that is why you can't have that business have your name. Most of the time it will be a brand name. And so your handle, when you're doing it now, will either have your brand name or your personal name. I would recommend going with the brand name and writing your personal name in the headline. The handle is basically your Instagram unique identifier. And this is searchable. And why it's important is because your brand name also will often have a keyword inside. For example, mine is content fudge because I work with content. So content as a keyword is already in my brand name. So for example, for my website URL, it also has the keyword in there. So it already has an advantage of being discovered on Google. And it's exactly the same story for Instagram. It has to be easy to spell and remember. Avoid any unnecessary symbols and numbers. Basically, make a test. If you can pronounce your handle when you are drunk, then it's a good handle. If you can spell it when you're drunk, it's a great handle. If you start remembering numbers and symbols and how to pronounce those symbols, you lost already because once imagine you meet somebody in an elevator and you have like 1 minute or less to tell them how to find you on Instagram, and if you have some weird symbols, they probably will not even like. I see Instagram names with like 3 underlines or some other weird symbols. You don't need it. Try to make it crystal clear and easy to spell and pronounce. So these are bad handle examples, right? We have underline, we have some random numbers, like some people add the year of their birth. You don't need to do that. Um, then some sort of like super long ones, difficult to remember, or like Instagram names where you have like four instead of like word four, like preposition four, you use a letter four. That's also, it might be difficult for some people to spell. What is a good name is your personal name or your personal name combined with a keyword like marketing or physio, or you can also have some sort of identification of who you are, like a category claim, like keynote speaker. But this more is like a brand name already and not a personal name. So I would recommend you to have a look at your brand name right now and at your handle right now and mark if you think it might need some improvement or if it's already good as it is. The next element is a headline. Just let me go back to the account. So handle was this part, and the headline is this part that's in bold, yeah, on accounts. Some accounts have this one over here on top, depends on like how your feed is structured. My feed is structured like it's 2023 because my feed is still square, and I don't know why. For some people, it looks a bit different, and the posts are 4 to 5. So headline is this fat text, bold text on top. And this is the second searchable element in your Instagram. So this is where you also want to place keywords. Because when people look, the only way how they can find you is if you have keywords in the headline and the keywords in the handle. If you don't have them, people will not find you. If they are in the bio, people will not find them because bio is not searchable. So make sure that your headline is keyword rich, clear, relevant, unique, and if you are a local business, you're operating only locally, that is also geo-targeted. So what are good headlines? Your personal name, and then your category claim, like personal brand coach, or for example, social media strategist, or digital marketing, New York City, speaker and author. Bad headlines are the ones that are too vague, too general, lacks specificity, or very promotional, like best brand strategies you'll ever need. Yeah, this people will just scroll right away. Exactly, not focused, no professional credibility like fun and inspiration. That really doesn't mean anything to anyone because fun is relative for everyone. So make sure that you have your name and category claim, and then if you want to add some tagline, for example, if your tagline is short, you can do that. Or you can mention what people can expect from your account, because all of this is searchable. If you can also add a bit more personal information like a mother of two or dog mom or something like this. This will make you more interesting. And if people have dogs who land on your account, they'll think like, this person, somebody I could relate to. So have a look at your headline and mark if it needs improvement, and think about how you could make it better. A tip here is to research similar accounts in your niche and see how they what they write in their headlines. So, and now we come to the bio. Your bio is like a mini landing page that has to give all the essential information so people understand what you do, so they like and trust you, and they make the next step. So your bio has to have these three elements, like absolutely non-negotiable. Your bio doesn't have these three elements, you are wasting your content, you're wasting your marketing efforts. So make sure that this is done correctly. So your bio has to start with what you do. It has to offer, like give an offer statement. For example, I have helped thought leaders build a credible Instagram presence. This statement directly says whom you're helping and how. So people landing on your Instagram account will be able to judge right away if this is something for them or not. The second line of your bio should provide some social proof or some sort of context. Usually, this is your achievements, like 3 years of experience, thousands of followers built, or 250 students, or build this much money in revenue. Something that proves that what you are teaching actually works. And the last line in your bio has to tell what is the next step. What do they need to do? And we are not allowed to assume that people know what to do, because every time people start thinking, they take the wrong decision very often. So we have to chew that information, put into their mouth, so they just have to swallow. So tell them what they need to do. Usually it's DM me for content strategy tips or book a consultation or download the free guide. So if we look at Rio's account, okay, he's like more like an entertainment page also, but I do also write here that we are doing tricks and training to be a rescue dog, but I do have a call to action that says want to train like Rio, explore our courses, and it points to where they can have a look and sign up to our courses. If you look at my account, I build bold personal brands that stand out online. Then I have social proof, hype award-winning online marketer, and dog mom with bad humor. I decided to add this to also create like some sort of personal touch, and get free online brand checklist and the pointing line to the link in bio where they can download this. So there has to be a very clear call to action. If you don't know how to write your I help sentence, here's a template. Usually it goes like this: I help target audience to achieve something or solve a problem with something, with your unique method or solution. Try to make it as short as possible and as specific as possible. What makes a great bio? It directly says who this is for, right? It includes the target audience in there, and not you. It's not about you, it's really for the people. It's simple, clear, conversational. It has a strong call to action in the end. It looks clean, right? You break the lines for readability. You include some emojis, or something to, separate, so that like all of these three things are very clean and clear. What you shouldn't do, you shouldn't lead people away from your page. Do not connect it to any other accounts, because this way you're advertising somebody else, and there people are just leaving your account without taking the action that you want them to do. Do not include any hashtags. Useless. That will not bring you any extra views, and because bio is not searchable. So include keywords in your headline. You don't need hashtags. Oh my God. Do not include any hashtags in your bio. And no any extra symbols because they are not searchable, and they, unless, I don't know if Katka still has this. She, when we started with her last year, she included a bunch of symbols because she wanted to say that she helps people look younger in a natural way without, and then she included all these symbols. Okay, she doesn't have it anymore, but she had all these symbols for injections, Botox, peels, and so on. So she wanted to show with those symbols that she helps them people look good without all of those symbols, all of those things. So have a look at your bio and mark if it needs improvement, and do it on your own in your own time. Really make sure that it has all these three elements and that it's ultra clear. Okay, now the next element is highlights. Highlights is like this whole thing is really a mini landing page, and it has to be so strategic. So here, what we write here has to tell a story, and it also has to have specific elements, because through those elements, people will decide whether they want to buy from you or not. So usually you will also want to have these elements in a specific order. So mine is a bit messy. This is not the right order. But for example, from these experts, we can learn that the first highlight is usually start here. And in that highlight, you will usually say who you are and what you offer. Or you just say who you are, you explain your story so people feel connected with you. And then you do the second highlight, like over here, that says work with me, or the dojo, this is his course. Then you will have a highlight that's called client wins. And for example, I have, it's called Your Love, because this is where the social proof is, all the testimonials, case studies, everything that proves that what you are doing brings results. And it's non-negotiable. That's just like what you would include on your website. People need it because people will trust you through the experiences of other people. And then you will want to include your lead magnets. So free, yeah, or guide or something, where, because in the highlights, you can put a direct link. So use this opportunity to explain what your lead magnet is about, your strategic freebie, and link it directly there. So people, when they click on this highlight, because they, everyone's want free stuff, like, oh, they don't have to pay, okay, they're gonna get it. So they come to that highlight and they can click directly on that link and they can get it. And then if you, for example, if you're selling something, you can include that. So she has her cohort, I think. He is selling a book. So if you have some additional digital products, you can include. So we can have a look at how my highlights look like. So they are right now not in the right order. And you should really make it a practice to reorder your highlight at least every month so that they really tell a story in a specific order. So my highlights should actually start with "This is me." And this is where I tell people my story. So where I come from, where I studied, what I did, how I switched from science, why I wasn't happy, what I'm doing now, and whom I'm helping now. So really make it strategic, make sure that you in this highlight bring people to what you're doing now so they understand what you're offering, and so that they understand if that offer is for them or not. Then when you describe your offer, don't just go for, hey, this is how I'm gonna like this is what I'm selling. Make it a bit more interesting and maybe ask questions like new and small business owners, do you want to grow your business? Let me show you what works in 2024. I should update it because it's 2025. But then basically I tell them step by step my framework. So they read it as something that like a roadmap for them to grow their business, but basically I am explaining to them the process of my offer and how it would what it would look like if we work together. And then I have a call to action in the end, and they can book a free discovery call with me right from here. What else do I have here? And here it's a bit more like step-by-step process. Yeah, if they would work with me. Then the highlight, the one with the lead magnet, also doesn't have to be boring. You can make it a bit more engaging. For example, like this, did you know I have a free checklist for a new online business? Yes, no, and here they can download it. Because also when you're posting these highlights, you initially post them as stories. So you also want to try to engage your existing followers. So asking a question like this really helps and then actually brings like the existing followers to thinking about the fact that you have it. You can describe what's inside and always include this direct link where they can download it. And in the end, always call to action to motivate people to actually do this. And if you have any testimonials from those lead magnets, include them because lead magnets are just like your products, they're just for free, but people also need to be convinced that it's worth their time downloading it. So if you have a testimonial, definitely include it. And then client wins. If you have people tagging you in their stories, thanking you for what you've done for them, definitely share this. Or share screenshots, just obviously ask if you're allowed to, because screenshots, they build way more trust because this is like real text of somebody who has written something good about you. It's like, for example, this one I have created myself. And the problem with written testimonials is that anyone can write them, ChatGPT can write them. But if you do have a screenshot or if you can tag somebody, then definitely do this. Now, this is also another screenshot. So share case status, reshare. If somebody tags you, reshare it. Screenshot, super valuable. This is how your testimonial or client wins highlight could look like. So I'm pretty sure you already have some ideas about what your highlights could be like. Take 5 minutes to plan them, and in the meantime, I will answer Joanna's question.
So I have a very beginner's question, how to create a highlight.
So you will post a story,
Yeah.
and then I think it's only possible. Yeah, it's not possible on the desktop version, but on your phone, when you go to Instagram, on the very right, there will be a plus, and you will be able to create a highlight. So, and in order to create a highlight, you will need to select the stories that you already posted and group them into a highlight.
Oh, okay. I'll try it now.
But you have to post them as a story first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you are planning them, of course, make them strategic for people who don't know you yet, but also keep it engaging for your existing followers because they will see it in the stories. And people love those. Like when I posted my story, how I came to opening a business, people were so supportive and they sent me messages. So people are gonna give you like really nice feedback. So be vulnerable, be open, and use this opportunity. So let's take another 2 minutes. Think about your highlights. Like if you have some ideas about how you would structure them, what you would include into each highlight, and then we can proceed with the next element. And I must say the highlights are also a strategic tool for businesses, just like personal brands and just like experts. Businesses should share their results, their client wins. They should share what exactly they do. They should provide the link where people can come and buy. If they have like some sort of like Black Friday sale or something, it should be included in the highlight. If they are running a giveaway, there it should be in the highlight. So they really, really help.
So if you do have something in your highlights, and like for example, because you just said if they're running like a promotion or if they're running a like a giveaway, but then at some point the giveaway is not valid anymore, can you then just delete it out of your highlights?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. And it should really be a habit to order the highlights in the correct way and update them, not to be like me still in 2024, but make sure that it's relevant. Because otherwise people will think, okay, then she doesn't know, like we are not in 2024 anymore. She doesn't know how to grow my business, so I'm not gonna buy from her. Okay, and the last element of an optimized profile are the pin posts. Pin posts and the last 12 posts, because usually people will just scan your feed. They will not go into details of every single post. So first and foremost, your account has to look cohesive. It has to look professional. It has to be branded, always the same colors, the same fonts, because if it looks messy, people will judge you. For example, just we were going recently through research with Margarita, and we were looking in this Michael. This guy. He was one of the competitors of a client that we were researching. And he has super nice cover photos over all of his content. So his feed really looks very cohesive, like very professional. But the thing is that like your content doesn't have to look the same, because if you press on his post, like he's showing something else, right? So he optimized the content the um, for the visitor, like for people to come to him and follow him. But this, like creating this cover photos, really makes it look professional and trustworthy. Also, your feed and your posts and cover photos should be readable from far. So, for example, if we think that on the phones our feeds are very small, and we need to make sure that people can read from far away what this post is about, because when they come and they just scroll through the last 12 posts and they decide if they want to watch one of these posts in more details, we need to make sure that like here the title clearly says what it's about and it's readable from far, so that we have more chances that people will actually watch our content. The top 3 posts are just as important as your highlights, because not everyone will look at the highlights. Yeah, some of the people will just come and press directly this post. And this post has to also tell the entire story so people know who you are, what you offer, that it really works, and what the next steps. So you need to really wisely design them. One of them has to be absolutely 100% the post that explains your offer, how you make money, what do you want people to do. So there has to be an offer post. For this guy, it's the course. For her, it's the this cohort program. Then the other one has to either demonstrate client results, testimonials, or maybe some kind of certification, be the social proof to show that you are really an expert or that what you're teaching and doing works. And then the third post could be one of your best posts. What I see people do very often is everything that goes viral, they will post because that means people really resonated with that post. And for all the new visitors who land on your account, they should be able to find that post right on top. Or you can also pin one of the posts that very clearly explains what your account is about so that people right away get an idea what kind of content they can expect from your account, and it facilitates their decision whether to follow you or not. What you can also do, like this guy here, you can offer a lead magnet. You can offer something for free, a strategic freebie, and then you can create an automation that says, okay, if you want to get it, comment this word, and you send it to them directly in the messages. So these are the 4 things that you could include. It's up to you, but definitely non-negotiably there should be one about your offer, and there should be one that shows that it works what you do. So we don't need 5 minutes, just let's take 1 minute and just think about very shortly what could you include in your pin posts that would also act strategically to guide people from getting to know who you are to what you offer. Mine are actually a bit different right now. Mine are like this. First one tells people who I am. Here is like my entire story, plus it didn't even fit here, so I still put it in the comments. And then it's about my offer, and then it's about personal branding and letting people get a feeling what my account is about. Okay, so let's put it all together. Here is our account, and we want to use it as our mini landing page and be super strategic about it. So on top is our handle, our Instagram name or unique identifier that contains our brand name or an important keyword or our personal name. Then I don't think, like, I usually advise to skip the category not to make the bio too long. And the category does not bring you any advantages. So maybe if you put an entrepreneur, I think like even without the category, people will understand that you're an entrepreneur. Then you have to have a clear I help a bio with the profession that includes the keywords because these 2 elements are searchable. Then our bio, clear I help statement, social proof. And if you don't have a social proof, usually when we start a business, we are our own first clients. So you can also mention your story, for example, from stay-at-home mom to business owner, something like this. And in the end, always call to action. Then your highlights start here, something where you explain who you are and you bring people to your offer. Then social proof highlight, where you prove that it works what you teach. Then your story, like, cause like you can put it as the first one, start here, and separate it from your offer, but it has to exist. And then the freebie, something where people can click and give you their email addresses. Like, if you don't know what freebies are and how they work, I have a recorded webinar on that. But this basically the idea is that you want to collect emails from your potential clients. And then you have your branded pin posts, also, for example, your story, your offer, how you help, and client results. So try to stick to this structure because it will very much help you convert your like Instagram visitors to followers and potentially to clients as well.
So quick question, like when we start off, we obviously don't have many client results yet because we haven't collected it yet. Could we, for the time being, instead of having where you now have client results, could we put like a post to our lead magnet, for example, that is right at the top?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. Definitely. And if you don't have client results just yet, try to work on some beta testers who can like whom you offer a cheaper service or free service in return for a testimonial. I did a bunch of websites in the beginning for free. Okay, and now before we switch to traffic, I would suggest another 5-minute break to go to the toilet, and then we continue. It will be basically for the last hour that we are continuing. Let's say 1941. I don't like this, it's uneven. Let's do 1945. Okay, let's do 1945, 10 minutes without stress, okay? All right. Okay, so we have 1 more hour to go through understanding how do we even get the traffic to our account. Now we have a perfect account. We have optimized it. We know what we need to put there and how to structure it. Now we need to make sure the traffic, that we get enough traffic to our account. So let's look at the different sources of traffic and how we can get. So first of all, traffic is the number of people visiting our profile. If people are not coming to our profile, then of course we cannot grow. And of course, we also need to make sure that the traffic has to be correct and it has to be our potential customers, right? And our ideal clients. I know of a case where an entrepreneur has jumped on a trend, and it was a dancing trend, and the trend brought her a lot of followers, but those were some people from India who would never buy from her. And then basically what she experienced over the next few months is a lot of unfollows, because what those people followed her for, they didn't get to see in the future posts, because she just jumped on the trend outside of the strategy. And in any case, those followers did not bring her anything except having a higher follower number, and maybe helping, like, eliminating the need of buying the followers if if somebody wants to do that. There are a lot of traffic sources. So literally, your content is not the only traffic source. And we will go shortly through all of them because basically in the beginning, I think, is this the next post? Yeah. In the beginning, your first 500 followers is the highest difficulty. So like 5-star difficulty, it's really, really hard because you don't have so much content. You don't have so much traffic. So getting to 500 followers in the beginning is super hard. And the 1,000 followers are also pretty hard. But then once you're there, once you have compounding content, it becomes easier and easier. And also once you get more followers, especially if those are the correct followers, you also have your first income and you can distribute some money into advertising and other marketing sources and other traffic sources. So it becomes easier. But I tell you, just like for Katka, she is hardly posting anything and she still is growing. Just like for my dog, I post also just once a week and I still keep growing. When the bigger you are, the easiest it is to grow, but when you're here, it's really, really hard. So, and your content won't help you so much because like in the beginning, unless you find that perfect format, and you really need to be creative and you really need to think about like other ways to bring traffic to your account and generate followers. So let's have a look at what traffic sources are out there. First is, of course, your content, then hashtags. Hashtags don't help you with reach, but what hashtags help you with, again, we cannot do this on the desktop version, but on your phone, when you search, you have several tabs on top, and one of the tabs is called tags. So basically what hashtags help you do is categorize your account into a specific group. So when people search for accounts in the group, like for example, healthcare or beauty, they will be able to discover your account through this categorization. Then we have Explorer page. This is not something you can do in the beginning. Algorithm will place you on the Explorer page either when your reel is going viral or when algorithm sees that people like your content and it will push you to the Explorer page. Explorer page is this page over here where we just like this, like we can see posts from people we don't follow. In our feed, other people we follow, or sometimes suggested content, and in the Explorer, other people we don't follow, and new accounts that we can discover. Then engagement. Engagement is a very strong tactics in the beginning. I grew Rio's account, I think, to about 1,000 through engagement. And we will go a bit more thoroughly through what it is. Then there are curation pages that we've already discussed where you can pay and have them feature your posts. Then collaborations. This is one of my favorite ways to grow your account, especially when you're small, is collaborating with somebody on a post. Collaborating with somebody on a post means that you make a post and it's shown on their and your account at the same time, and it can go up to 5 accounts. What you need to make sure when you create collaboration posts is that the bigger account makes it. Because when a smaller account makes it, just like in the case with this post, the algorithm follows the algorithm of the smaller account is gonna be in force. So make sure that the bigger account posts your collaboration post. But generally, find an account that's a little bigger than you, make it very attractive for them to collaborate with you, and then do this. Yes.
Is it the same like co-authoring?
Yes, basically, yes, because the same post appears on both of your channel, like accounts.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the big advantage is that your audience and their audience will see it, and then you get right away more reach. Then cross promotions. So for example, if you have an email list or if you have a LinkedIn account, you can promote content from your Instagram account and those channels. Then you can also do mutual PR. Like for example, today let's say Joanna and Alessa decide to promote each other, and Alessa posts on her story, hey, I know this girl, she has a no procrastination group. If you wanna like some accountability, follow her. And the other way around, Joanna posts, hey, I know this amazing person who helps you with self-worth and removing limiting beliefs. So contact her in case you like we're looking for something like this. Mutual PR on a small scale like this, oh, but on a big scale, of course, it works like super great. But this is something that you can already start doing with people. So when your clients post about, or like ask your clients to post about you and ask them to tag you. This is like they doing PR for you. And don't be afraid to ask, really, just go out there or go into our Instagram engagement group and ask there, guys, who wants to do mutual PR? I promote you, you promote me. And maybe there you go, you get like 3 new followers. But yes, when your content is not working that well yet, when algorithm hasn't recognized it yet, you might need to resort to those practices. And there's nothing embarrassing about it. But once you reach that 1,000 followers, it will get easier and easier and easier. But you have to overcome this first threshold of low follower count. Ads also bring followers, but expensive. Then we have SFY, suggested for you. So this is what I meant when I said that in our home feed, usually we have posts from people whom we follow. But sometimes if we scroll, we might see posts where it says suggested for you. So algorithm proposes to us content from accounts that they think we might be interested in. Like I don't see any right now. It's just the same brands all the time posting. Or like at least this is what my feed looks like. It's horrible. This brand the entire time already like 7 times shown. But yes, usually you will see as in your home feed suggested for you content, and this is where you want a jackpot. When this happens, algorithm starts suggesting your content to others. This is like really a gold mine for you. Then you have alternative sources. That's where you become like super creative, and you go like to Reddit and you comment there, and then you say, hey guys, follow me on like whatever you can think of. Then if you are active offline, if you go to many networking events, if you are a keynote speaker, you give some talks or presentations, maybe hold some webinars, hold some workshops, always in the end tell people to follow you. Always. And this way you can, in just one webinar or one short presentation, get like 20 new followers. Podcasts, either organizing your own podcast, although it's a lot of work, or asking to be a guest on the podcast and then asking people to follow you is also a good source of traffic. And then, for example, if you actively participate in a course like today, you can say, hey, let's follow each other. You throw your handles in the chat and you connect with each other. And there you go, 5 new follows. Then, if you are very organized and outgoing and you like events, you can organize your own event. For example, there is a platform called Eventbrite or Meetup. You organize an event, you write it there, people come. It can be like a small breakfast. Like when I started the social media branches, we started with 3 people, I think. And then at some point we had 12. And I just post on Eventbrite, and people come from there or people come from the community. But doing this always brings a few more new faces who potentially can follow you. And another tactic is commenting on other big accounts. And I will explain to you this one and the engagement one in more details, because these are very important and they work also on LinkedIn, for example. It's not only for Instagram, because these platforms are social platforms, they're networking platforms. So it basically works like you scratch my back, I scratch yours. If you engage with my content, I will engage with yours. The question in the beginning, to get to this 500 and to 1000 followers is the question like, what are you ready to do for this? If you're ready to go in subway station and, I don't know, give people €5 for one follow, then you will be there quite fast, but you will lose maybe some money. You just need to really work hard in the beginning. The beginning is the hardest part, but then it becomes much easier. So, content is, of course, the first source of traffic, and the most effective approach, like I already mentioned, is sharing stuff so valuable that people don't have to hire you. And tomorrow we will go in more details through every single part of planning your content, researching what content has viral potential. But of course, when we are just starting and our account is empty, people also will not follow just because nobody wants to follow an empty account. I usually don't follow an empty account because like what to follow them for? Okay, maybe they post some stories, but if I see it's an empty account, like what there is no value for me to follow them. So even before you start very actively posting the content for growth, you need to populate your account. What do you populate your account if you like didn't test anything, if you don't know your audience yet? These 5 categories of content gonna help you so much, provide a lot of starting content for people that will already facilitate their decision to follow. So first of all, you identify your competitors and you look what like best videos were on their accounts, and you take those ideas and you generate something similar for your brand. And I don't mean stealing and completely copying them, but like if that worked for them and if they are your direct competitors and you are competing for the same target audience, it's very likely that a similar post will also work for you. So just take 10 ideas from your competitors and turn them into your own posts. Then absolute no-brainer, how to questions, because like we said, people will follow you if they think they get a lot of content and tips so that they can do things on their own without paying anyone. So how questions will be a gold mine for you, but they have to be very specific, really, not something general, not something philosophical. No, it has to be like step by step exercise, concrete framework, concrete template. Then top 10 myths and mistakes, also very good, because people usually don't want to make mistakes and they don't want to look stupid and they want to find out like what are those myths, and they want to see people bust those myths. So you can do like 3 mistakes I see women do after returning back to work from maternity, and people will want to read it, because such post combines your personal perspective, like mistakes you see people do, plus directly addresses the target audience, and it should be your direct target audience, not somebody unrelated. And people will want to read it because they will want to know how, if they identify themselves as the target audience, they will want to know how not to make those mistakes. Then collections, for example, top 10 tool suggestions or top 3 exercises to increase your confidence, top 3 affirmations to tell yourself every morning. Collections are so valuable. People will want to save them. And yeah, just choose for yourself some sort of collections that you could provide to your audience and share it for free. And top 3 case studies, but not case studies as you think, in a way that like to show people that your process works, but more in a bit cheeky way show the framework, like uh, promise them the framework. So they like how to create a marketing strategy, for example, but describe it as a storytelling based on your client's success, for example. So this way, you don't only share very important information of how your potential followers could create a marketing strategy, but you also in the same post show that it works because it's a case study of somebody who you did it for. One of my very first emails when people subscribe to my email list is how we created step by step the content strategy for Katka. So it tells people like the step by step so they can do it themselves, but it also shows them that this process works. So something like this would also be very easy. So let's say we need 16 posts so that your account doesn't look empty because, well, not many people scroll past the top 12, for example, or let's say not 16, let's do like 20. And then we take 4 from here, 4 from here, 4 from here, 4 from here, and 3 on top. That makes 19, but pretty close. And there you go, your account is populated, and you started with a very strong like content, and the algorithm already started working. You're providing a lot of value, and then from there we go and we optimize for viral content. We are looking into viral content and viral content research tomorrow, and this is really to give you a good start so your account is not empty.
Quick question, sorry. If you already used your account while trying to do something, what do you do with like the posts that you created before? Because I still think like there's some value in some of the posts, but would you then recommend deleting them and putting them in your, because obviously they also don't fall into the branding that you created because they were very different. What would you suggest to do with the ones that you've already posted
Yeah.
like long time ago?
I wouldn't delete it. I would just change the cover photo so the feed
Okay.
looks cohesive with your new branding, but I would not delete it because if it provides value, it provides value. And then people also see the transformation from how you were starting and how you are now. And it also tells a story that you kept going and that you kept learning and improving. So it also creates some sort of like personal connection.
Okay. Thanks.
And when you have content that works, just repost it because this is the gold mine. Like your goal is to identify content that works, content that goes viral. And it doesn't mean that you have to all the time create new posts and all the time look for more content that can drive traffic. Just repost it. Like these are two examples of me reposting viral reels, and this one I think I reposted again and again. I think in total 4 times. Every single time went viral, every single time. And I just don't need to produce new content anymore because it's so exhausting. It's so much pressure. So your goal is to get to the point that you have 1, 2, 3, 4 viral reels and you just keep reposting. And now with the trial reels, Instagram just gave us this amazing tool of how we don't have to spam our followers, but still benefit from our amazing posts that drive this traffic. And every time I reposted it, every time it brought me new followers. So just do it. As soon as something works, don't be afraid. Save your efforts, save your hours, just reuse it. So then we talked about hashtags. Like I mentioned, they don't give you extra reach, but they do categorize your content into groups so people can discover you. And this is a screenshot from how the search function looks on the phone. And you see there is this text. So when people look for a keyword over here, they can go to text, press on marketing, and discover your content. So Don't be afraid, use it. Just make sure, like if you write captions with ChatGPT, and make sure that because ChatGPT capitalizes every word in a hashtag and people recognize it, just make sure that it doesn't look like a robot did it. We will not go through this right now, but this is an exercise. You're gonna get the slides and you're gonna do this exercise on your own because I want you to be doing things. You probably have thought of some topics that you can post over here. And usually what is a good thing to do when we have content ideas, we usually can group them into like 3 or 4 content pillars, what they call them. It's like 3 or 4 more like general groups, and then in each group of content we have individual content ideas. And my advice for you is to create also hashtag groups based on these content groups, content pillars, because you want your hashtags to be relevant to the content you're posting and not include some irrelevant keywords. And also, you need to ensure that the hashtags that you choose have between 100,000 and 1 million posts, because that means that people are posting about it and they are looking for it. So there is a demand, but it's not too niche that there are not enough people looking for it. And it's not too broad that there are way too many accounts using them, and those accounts are way too big that your content will be lost in the sea of those bigger accounts. So now engagement. For small accounts, this would be what will drive most of the traffic. Like I said, Instagram is a social platform where you need to engage with others. And you need to interact with accounts in your niche, and this way you become more visible to your audience and you increase chances of profile visit. What does it mean? When I was growing Rio's account, I would go to a curation page, like for example, I think I saw a post from that curation page. No. Well, for example, I would go to this hotel. It's a dog hotel. They have a lot of following, and I will do the following. So I come, for example, to this post. I see 100 people liked it, and I know that these people are active. And then I know that these people like dogs, so they might be interested in my dog account. And then I will look for accounts that are not closed, that are not private, and I will go to this account and I will like their latest 6 posts. Maybe I will even comment on one of their posts that especially interested me. And for a small account like this that doesn't get a lot of traffic and engagement, suddenly getting 9 likes is like, whoa, what happened? And then they will look who those 9 likes came from, and they will be like, okay, let me have a look who it is. And they will come discover your account, and if your account is optimized, they will follow you. I spent once a whole trip from Vienna to Vorarlberg to Bregenz, and that's like 7.5 hours in a car, just going through a curation page through their entire following, checking each account one by one and liking their posts and commenting at least on one of the posts. I think I did it to maybe like 500 accounts in those 7.5 hours, but I gained 100 followers. So the question is again, what are you ready to do for those followers? And some of those followers still are very actively engaged on my account because, like, I scratched their back, they scratched mine. So they were very grateful. And then they also repost sometimes in their stories, say, oh, thank you for so many likes, and they tag you. And then their followers also see you. So there is a very specific, like there is a very good strategy behind it.
But you don't have to follow them. You just have to go in and like their posts or comment on their posts.
Yeah, you don't have to follow them. You can follow them, but you don't have to follow them. So with Rio's account, I didn't follow them. And so you don't only have to go to curation pages, you can go to your direct competitor and just go through their followers or go through the active people who are liking their content. And on the phone, when you are on Instagram, when you press the heart with the notifications, usually when you scroll, I think it's not on the desktop. Yeah, the desktop will just keep showing you all the notifications. But on the phone, you will reach the end of the notifications at some point and it will start suggesting your accounts. It means that those accounts are similar to yours, and those accounts might also be potential followers for you. So I would go through those recommendations in my notifications every single day, and I would engage with their content and like, comment, and yeah, and hope that they follow me because my account is optimized and looks interesting. Also, a good strategy is to like their stories or directly comment on their stories, because if you comment on their stories, you start a direct conversation and you can sell by chatting with people. So at first, your strategy should be like engaging so they notice you and follow you. But once you reach your, like, for example, 50 new followers, your goal, you go to those new followers and you text them, thanking them for a follow and starting a conversation so you can explain to them what you sell. Yeah, because of course you don't want to just like randomly engage with random accounts. Those should be your ideal clients. And usually you will get them through, identifying a competitor who works in your niche, so their followers are your potential clients as well. And so you want to make sure that after you engaged and you got all those follows, you also start conversations with them because you want to bring them to a purchase. I must say, when you are a corporate brand, you might also want to do it the same, because many startups, they start with zero and they start with zero advertising budget, because many businesses, they will grow a lot through event marketing, through meta advertisement. But small startups, they might also have to grow through cold outreach on Instagram or engagement tactics like this, just because if you don't have money to, pay for ads and you have to grow your following, this might be one of only ways to do this. Especially if you don't have, if you don't know how to produce good content or you don't have anyone creating that content for you. So, yeah. Do you have questions to the engagement tactics?
Yeah, just so when you said you go and then you look at the different accounts, do they need to have a small amount of followers? Is that one criteria? The ones where you like the posts? So
Yes,
it's more
small,
noticeable for them?
exactly. Or, well, yes, definitely a small one. But also, for example, if you see an account where who follows more people than they are followed, it means that this account might not be very selective about whom they follow. But then again, it might mean that they also are not your ideal client and they're just like following everyone randomly. So for the sake of the numbers, it might be good, but not for the sake of the business.
Okay.
Yeah, here's what we discussed: how to engage effectively is that you identify relevant accounts, you like their posts, you leave a thoughtful comment, maybe you reply to stories and DMs. But what you can do to make it more interesting for yourself is if you gamify it. So you turn it into a game. So it's not very frustrating to do this, you reward yourself by aiming for a certain amount of points a day. So for example, 0.5 points for a like, 1 point for a comment, 2 for a DM, and if, for example, this works really well as well, I don't know why I didn't mention it. This is not report, this is repost. If you find your ideal client and you find a very nice post on their account, you can repost it into your stories and say, whoa, this is what I learned now. This is so cool. I actually was doing this a lot for my own account, and I got a few online besties whom I don't know, but they engage with my content and I engage with their content. They were so thankful for me reposting their content, because this way they got more reach, they got more eyes on their content and their account. So this worth even more for you, and they, if you follow them also, and they will definitely follow you back. So if you follow them and repost their stuff, they'll definitely follow you back. So this would be like the most points if you do this. And if you like say, okay, I'm gonna spend 20 minutes every day, and my goal is to earn 15 points every day, this will not be so frustrating and boring. Then what you also can do is to engage with big accounts. So big accounts usually have a lot of followers and they have a lot of active conversations going on. So what I would do is I would go to a big account, I will see what conversations are going on in the comments, and I would just try to contribute to a conversation in a real, authentic way, just like a real person. I would answer questions of people, because often at the bigger accounts have people following them and asking them questions. So instead of like those big accounts answering those questions, I would show myself as an expert and answer those questions for them before they get there. And just try to add value to the discussion. Followers do come from comments. On LinkedIn, comments can even go viral, basically. On Instagram, comments cannot go viral, but there can be really huge discussions in a comment thread. And for example, Maria, she had one reel going viral, and she had what she calls a shitstorm in the comments, but there were such huge discussions going on, and like many people jumping in and giving likes to comments and supporting. So if you see that happening, just join in, show yourself, show your expertise. Like, again, it's a social platform. It's all about conversation. It's all about being real and human. So, and it brings eye to you, to your account. It shows you as an expert that you know what you're talking about, and it also creates an algorithm boost, because when you engage with relevant accounts, bigger accounts, algorithm starts categorizing you into that niche. So it starts understanding that your account also belongs to that niche, so it gives you your content more boost. And another tactic that I also use with my dog in the very beginning was that I would tag bigger account on my posts. And this way, I also signal to the algorithm that my post belongs to this category of bigger accounts. And first of all, I attract attention of those bigger accounts. They might comment on my stuff. They might repost my stuff in their stories if they're interested. And it's also they might also like, and also it signals to the algorithm that I belong to this category. So the followers of these bigger accounts might also be potential followers of my account. Yes.
So you just tagged random bigger accounts which you were not following, or they didn't know you, more or less? Like, kind of, I'm posting a topic which I think would be relevant for them, and you just tagged them?
Yes, well, they weren't random. They were, for example, a curation page for the dogs of my breed.
Yeah, this is what I mean.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Yeah.
interfere with them beforehand.
They had nothing to do with my post, but I
Okay.
just tagged them because I thought that might be interesting for them, and they sometimes reposted it in the stories, and it was really great. So I suggest that you make a list of keywords to find relevant accounts, like for example, social media, email marketing. Then you find those accounts, mark them as favorites, and engage daily with those accounts, or just go into their following, engage with their following, or just tag them in your posts just to increase reach as much as possible. But like I would only tag the bigger accounts in your posts because you in case they end up reposting you, you will get so much reach right away. Curation pages. We already talked briefly about curation pages. So these are the pages where you can basically pay and get traffic and new followers to your page. I did this with Rio's account. I paid maybe like 20 euros here, 20 euros there, 70 euros there. Brought me followers. What I also did in curation pages, I would go to their every time they would repost. Yeah, I would pay them. They would repost my content, and then everyone who comments it on their, like on my post on that page, I would engage with them in the comments, and or I would go on their account and like their posts as well. So those people who commented on my post on the curation pages, I tried to make sure that those people become my followers. And there are curation pages for basically every topic, for marketing as well, and for confidence, and for everything, for art. Like you can really find curation pages for everything these days.
But how do they distinguish themselves or separate themselves from a normal page? Like how if like you now know what a curation page looks like, but how does someone that's never seen one before, how do you find them out of all the other pages in your niche?
Usually they will be reposting content from others, or they will be basically like faceless. So it would not be a business, or it would not be an entrepreneur. So you wouldn't know to whom this page belongs. So it would be like a collection of content in a niche, but not from a specific entity. And usually they will even directly write in the bio that if you want to get featured, contact us. Yeah. Um, So how to get featured on a curation page? You need to identify pages that regularly share content in your niche, create high quality shareable posts, and then reach out to them via DMs with a friendly message asking them to repost them. And sometimes they might even do it for free. Sometimes they'll tell you right away how much it costs. I can show you a curation page where we were considering with my husband one day to whether we want to like pay them to get featured, to be featured there. Ugh. A second, if I go to here. Yeah, so this would be a curation page. It says Smart IB memes, DM for promo, right away here. So they just put together some sort of content. You don't know who it is, who behind this page. And here is a brand that's constantly getting promo. So they pay these guys. Their content gets reposted. They post them actually as collaborators. This content is very valuable, so people like it, and I guess they have grown pretty much because they just started 1 year and so they go, so that's like 13,000 already. So yeah, this is how you could identify a curation page. Yeah, I already told you the story about how I grew reuse accounts. I stalked the followers of the creation page. This is the page that I got featured. The DM us to get your pub feature that like also written here directly in the bio. I paid for that, yeah. What's important is when you are selecting a curation page is that that page really has active real followers and not purchase followers, because you don't want to pay for something that's not going to bring you anything. So always look at the engagement rate. Engagement rate has to be high enough so you know that the users are active. Like we just saw on this page.
Sorry, can I ask you something?
Hmm?
How do I find out how the engagement rate is on a curation page? Is it
Mhm.
something I find it in the insights, or are there certain KPIs I can look it up?
Yeah, you can calculate it yourself. So, for example, you can go to the latest post, see how many people liked it, 3,700, and then look at their followers. So, if they have 77,000 followers, you would expect that this is approximately the amount that people would engage, because usually it's like around 1% engagement rate, like on
Okay.
average. But
It's
if you
not
see
10
here, hmm?
as in it's not 10 as in the stories normally, right? Because I know that you have 10% of your followers are actively watching your stories. And in the engagement rate, it's 1% in the posts, right?
Yeah, 1% from the total following or less. It can even be 0.5, and that's okay. I would be super suspicious if there were like 20 likes or 70 likes. From 77,000, then I would be like, those followers are purchased for sure. So this 4,000, 2,000, that's okay. And not every post, like usually it depends on the post. A high value post that's super educational or super funny or super emotional, those will usually get more likes. It's if it's a promotional post where you're selling something, that usually will have even lower engagement. So if, for example, I see 700 likes from 77,000, then it's either bad content or it's a promotional post. But if the rest are quite good, yeah, then I would trust this curation page that they have real followers. So this I already told you. This is one of the growth tactics, like how you can grow your following without posting. You're gonna take a long trip from Vienna to Bregenz. You're gonna sit down and go through followers of a competitor curation page and like their posts, comment on at least one or two of their posts. If they have any active stories, react to them, and just repeat this process and make sure that in 7 hours you get at least 100. I was so proud when I did this. Like it, I think it gave me a huge boost. Really, like when all of a sudden from 500 I came to like 600 followers. I was like, looks more and more, and then you're like more motivated to do it. So collaborations and mutual PR. This is a very nice and good way to do this. I have a whole webinar on how collaborations work and how you can cut your marketing costs without collaborations, how you can increase your reach through collaborations. So what I would recommend you to do is really find 5 to 10 possible collaborators in your niche and approximately the same account size as yours, and propose to them a few posts, stories, reels that you can put on both of your accounts. This will benefit them because they don't have to produce so much content, and it will also benefit you because you get their reach. So really make a list and become friends with those people and help each other. Or like I said, make mutual PR, advertise each other in each other's stories, because for sure my friends, my followers might be interested in your services and the other way around. And I would actually make it a habit, like every 3 months, every 4 months, asking my network, hey, you know what I do? Do you think you know somebody who might be interested in what I do? And I guarantee you, people will recommend you and will recommend your services. Or you can bribe them. That's another tactic. Like you, for example, say in your stories, everyone who reposts these posts of mine gets something for free. I don't know, 10-minute consultation or a freebie or a book, whatever you have. And then like people start reposting stuff. Or also to get like recommendations, you say, hey, if you like know somebody who can benefit from my services, recommend me, and I will give you like 10% of commission of what I earn. So like bribing is a very good way to also get people to spread the word about you. Yeah, Explorer page. This is not something for small accounts because algorithm will only put you onto an Explorer page if if you have proven that your content is valuable and that you have been consistent and that algorithm can show your content to new followers. An account under 2,000 followers is unlikely to be featured on Explorer page, but if you are there, it's very likely that you will reach a lot of new people and very likely that your post will go viral. So you should aim to like produce content so good that algorithm puts you on the Explorer page. Then suggested for you, we also quickly discussed, this is when like in your feed, algorithm suggests accounts that you don't follow yet. That's also really great. That means algorithm recognized you and recognizes the value of your content and shows your content to people who don't follow you proactively. So this is like really a gold mine. So you can also curate content. For example, when you did a project with somebody or you have a client who is super excited, or for example, you are giving a workshop like I am today, and I want to be featured on your account, I can actively ask you to like take a photo of us like this and feature it in your stories and tag me. So this way I get reach to your followers and it's not embarrassing. Just do it because this is all for the sake of your business. Never be afraid to ask and just really be proactive. If you identify an opportunity where you could get more visibility, just ask for it. So we have basically gone through most of this. I don't want to talk much about ads and cross promotions because usually like cross promotion is when you like promote your content from one platform to another. Usually people who are LinkedIn, they will not come on Instagram to watch your content. So this is not a very active, like very good tactics. And all of these ones like talks, podcasts, courses, organizing events and so on, this you can do every day in your life. You go, you meet somebody and you ask them to follow you, ask them to connect. You, I don't know, you go to school, pick up your children, talk to the parents of the other children, you ask them to connect. So you always try to network, you always try to bring people to your platform because who knows, maybe they don't even know what you do and then they discover your account and they realize they could be your potential clients or they know somebody who could be your potential clients. So don't be afraid, capture every opportunity because in the end it's all for us. We need money, we need to pay rent and we have to grab those chances. I just try to sort these things out in terms of the account size and what you need to focus on. So you can include hashtags to help algorithm to categorize your stuff. Definitely do engagement. Use the growth tactics like that with engagement and commencing. Try out the curation pages if there are any good ones in your niche. Ask people, actively ask for shout outs, actively ask to tag you in their content. I'm pretty sure quite a few followers came to me through Katka's content, through another a client of mine, Clemens, who has 20,000 followers. A few came and it didn't cost them anything, it didn't cost me anything. And mutual PR collaborations is really, really good in the beginning. So find some other accounts who are trying to actively grow and produce content together, and this will save you time and will double your results. Yes.
Sorry, what is MPR?
Mutual PR.
Mutual PR. Okay, thank you.
Mhm. And then once you get a bit bigger, you can already hope that or expect that your that algorithm will show your content on Explorer pages. You can collaborate then with bigger accounts also who have more reach, so it will bring you even more. You can try cross promotions to your email list, for example. What works really well is if you are, for example, a YouTuber, telling people to like from Instagram to go to your YouTube, or from your email list to go to your Instagram, or to go to your YouTube, or to go to your podcast, and then ask on your podcast to tell people to follow you. Like I follow this um, Rob Dial, the mindset mentor. In the beginning of every podcast, he says, please go follow me, share this podcast, share my content so more people can learn that I exist and benefit from listening to my podcast. He directly asks, there's no shame in it, so also do that. And then once you're a bit bigger and your business runs a bit better, you have stable revenue, then I recommend automated lead generation strategies with ads and email automations. Then I literally would not, like, you can continue producing content or outsource that you hire a person who produces that content. But the thing is that, like, everything that's algorithm dependent is unpredictable. You cannot control it. But things like ads, you can control. So once you have more money to invest like 300, 500 euros per month into ads, do it. You will get your followers, but most importantly, you will get email addresses, because in the end, followers are great. We need a lot of reach. We need to build a brand, but we don't have a direct way to communicate with the followers, because statistics show that only 9% of all of our followers will see our content. And that's very small percent. So if you have like 100 followers, only 9 people will see this. We need a direct way of communication with our audience, and that is only possible in the emails because we own that platform. So once you're there, really consider the advertising strategies. They are, you can automate them, you can control them, you can scale them. But in the beginning, these are 6 sources plus all of these, what you can do offline to bring followers to your account. And the rest is content. With the content, if you do very strategic content that has viral potential, if you research that strategic content, you will be able to go viral much faster, and you will be able to increase your following much faster. So Maria, for example, after our last workshop, after she did this research that we're gonna go through tomorrow, she identified the format that works well in her niche, right event went viral, right away with one reel went from 200 to 400 followers, and then the next two reels that went viral brought her from 400 to 700 followers. So content is really, really effective, and there is a way how you can determine what content has viral potential and what content can bring you most traffic. So for today, we are done. We can go through any questions that you have. And tomorrow, it's all about content. Tomorrow, we are going to look what content to produce, concrete examples, how to research it, where to find it, how to produce it shortly, but still we will go through this, how to create a content calendar, like what types of contents are there and how you choose the right one. And then we will go through the launch plan. So once you know, went through the growth phase, gain those new 100 followers, how can you sell to them? How can you monetize them? We're gonna go through this in more details in the end as well. So, do you have any questions?
So overwhelmed. A lot of informations to take in, a lot of to-dos too.
Yes, but I
Very,
hope
very helpful, actually. Thank you so much. I think they're very helpful, and it's a lot, of course, but when you go it through, I think it's pretty clear.
yes, and I think because I included exercises in every step, so you can literally, like, you don't need to be overwhelmed because you have the roadmap. So you will just take it and step by step go, and don't set any impossible goals. Set yourself a goal that in the next 2 weeks you will be done with your content strategy. That is reasonable, that is possible, and just go step by step. Then it will not be overwhelming.
Yes, it is very, very informative, very supportive. I love it.
Thank you. Okay, so if there are no more questions for today, we will finish 15 minutes earlier. And I wish you then a very good evening, rest well, and then we meet tomorrow for the second half.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Good
so
talk.
much.
Have a nice evening.
You
Bye.
too.
Tomorrow.